Now, this is where the real drama started.
There is nothing natural about putting inside a thing.
These are the instruments you use.
She thinks she's a man, but she does not have the equipment to be a man.
No. Pastor. Folks, this space can be weird sometimes. There's been lots of conversation. Sometimes I'm confronted along the way, and even in the midst of busy traffic, in the midst of meetings, you'll find someone and then he will shout at you, "Why are you gay?" The other day I was with my kids and someone just jumped out of the car, came out and said, "You are gay." Goodness me. But well, I have some time this afternoon and I want to look back at this video, which happened, to be precise, 13 years ago. There was a debate in Uganda about the Anti-Homosexuality Act. The bill then that later turned into an act, it created such a big storm. And that's when we at NBS television, I host a flagship show called The Morning Breeze. I'm still the host to date. And then we invited a lady to put up a case for the LGBTQ community. It turned out the following day he was a man. Pepe, Julian Onzima. Today I'm told he's a full mister. Well, let me now recap and do a flashback of the show. Hello and welcome back. This is the topical discussion on the Morning Breeze on NBS television. My name is Simon Kagwanjala, and well, now this is where the real drama started. Listen to this. One of the gay rights activists, Mr. Should I call you Mr? Pepe Julian Onzima. Thank you for coming in.
Thank you for
Good morning.
Morning to you.
Why are you gay? You are gay. You are a transgender.
What shows that I'm gay?
You are a transgender, yes, and you're a gay rights activist and an outspoken lesbian, homosexual. How can I describe you? I'll be very honest with you. I had to dump all the show prep I'd done the day before because when this guy walked in, he looked so smart in a suit, but with a bit of gully traits, and I found it weird. So I said, let's go bare knuckle, gloves off, and well.
I am Pepe Julian Onzima. I'm an LGBTI
What's that?
activist. I'm a human rights defender. I'll get to what it is. I'm a human rights defender. Currently focusing on LGBTI issues. LGBTI means L is for lesbian, which is described as women who are attracted to each other.
Guys, I have a knack of being interruptive during the show, but for the first time, I kept very calm because the discussion was quite delicate, but I also wanted to know quite a lot of things. I've always thought there is gay and lesbian. I'd never gone in depth to understand who they are, who attracts who does what and what. Anyway, let's continue listening just a bit more. Like I never interrupted the other time. I want to pause and listen.
Transgender is basically an umbrella term to describe people who do not conform to the sex that they are assigned at birth. Uh-huh. An umbrella term in the sense that there are people who are called transsexuals, they are transvestites, they are cross-dressers, and they fall under this umbrella. The people who dress up to express themselves as the sex that they were not assigned at birth.
Do you realize that Pepe deliberately missed the Q and replaced it with I? Because the tagline is normally LGBTQ. For the first time, I heard about the I. Now, here is Pepe himself. Where does he lie?
The common thing, the word they use to describe intersex people is hermaphrodite. But in my line of work, that is derogative. Where do I lie? I'm a transgender person.
Transgender. You were initially male or female?
The sex that was assigned to me at birth was female.
And you opted to become male?
Not exactly opting. It's something that I have been since I was young. But yeah, in terms of expression, it's who I am now.
Do you guys understand the matrix? Assigned, born, who I am. Do we continue?
As we stand today, are you dating any female?
Yes, I am.
You have a girlfriend?
Yes, I do.
While in transition, you're having a girlfriend?
Yes.
Do you perform the natural obligations?
I'm not sexually active right now.
So what are you
By
doing with
choice.
this lady?
By choice.
By choice?
Yeah. I've just not, I've chosen not to engage.
Doesn't that make you gay?
13 years ago, on the eve of the show, I was pretty sure that Pepe was female. I only discovered the following day that he was in transition. Today, as we speak, Pepe poses as a big guy. I'm told he's even married. And he's a sociable character. Wherever he is, I want to send him regards. I don't know what he thinks when he looks back. I'm enjoying this anyway.
I described a gay person earlier.
Someone attracted to
The same sex.
To the same sex.
Yeah. Mentally, emotionally, physically, sexually.
So as a human rights activist, what do you think of gays? Are they normal? Is it normal to be gay?
Absolutely. I mean, most people. We had a chat a little earlier, and gay people are born that way. They are born gay.
You notice that for the first time, 13 years ago, I was on air without a notebook. Traditionally, I'm always writing down notes. I scribble, I have the best handwriting. Earth will always praise, but this time, I dedicated all my time to learning. I was being schooled on who is who. Can we continue?
And then most gay people do not express with the same sex due to fear, due to because they do not want to be seen as not being part of the society.
Very morning, I continued becoming nervous as the topic became hotter. There was a moment when it dragged on, but I had arranged to speak to Pastor Ssempa. Pastor Ssempa then was quite unequivocal. He was an outspoken activist against anything LGBT. No wonder he had been flagged for travel to countries that embraced the practice. But I took off time and spoke to him that very morning. Now, that's where things became crazy. Listen.
We have Pastor Ssempa online, an anti-gay activist, to tell us his side of the story. Hello, Pastor.
Yes, good morning, everyone.
Good to have you online. How are you today?
I am doing well. First, I'm really extremely distressed that we are not having the anti-sodomy bill passed in Parliament. We have been promised that it will be passed by Christmas. Second, we are under tremendous attacks. People who are funding these groups, such as this daughter of ours.
Now here, Pastor Ssempa was still sounding civil, and I felt I was relaxing a bit. He sounded very diplomatic along the way.
And so much money
No,
being powered into
Pastor,
the country.
Pepe is a man.
Unfortunately, Pepe is a young woman who is suffering from gender identity disorder.
Pastor,
Yes.
why don't you sympathize with such people who do not opt but who are naturally, according to Onzima, he feels it's a natural calling for them to be men or for him to be what he is now?
There is nothing natural about using boya and biringanya in your private parts. Eh? Biringanya in your private parts. Eh?
Biringanya are eggplants.
There is nothing natural about putting a man's genital inside another man's excretory system. There is nothing natural about Onzima be denying us a chance to have children and grandchildren. There is nothing natural at all about sodomy. It is a genocide, and when you add sodomy to HIV, you come up with a black genocide of Africans.
I was about to close the show because then it became heated. Goodness. Imagine.
There is nothing natural. This is a boy, this is a girl trying to act like a boy. But you know, a trouser does not make you a man.
Pastor,
And you know, using cucumbers, we have many of our girls in schools.
Pastor.
Urinary systems, they can no longer have reproduce because they have torn direct towns, they have torn. If you check this girl on Zima, when you same the same issues. I have been in Mulago all this time. I have young boys who are wearing diapers. But you know, because they wear these nice clothes, you don't know what is going on.
Pastor,
But
now
these
let's hear
people
from
are
Onzima.
sick.
Pastor, excuse me,
These people
Pastor.
are sick. They need,
Pastor.
not only do they need our sympathy,
Pastor, can I
they need
ask you
us
to
to
stay
guide them.
online? Can I ask you to stay online? Then we hear from Onzima. Onzima, could you react to Pastor Ssempa?
No, I
He
will
sounds
not.
very abrasive.
I will not. I choose not to react and give Ssempa audience. I am not going to react to what he's saying.
Oh, poor guy. Anyway,
Please, you see, she's afraid of the truth.
Do you feel offended?
The truth is, this is a young woman who is confused to think that she's a
Pastor,
boy.
why don't you sound sympathetic to a man who seems to be going through a transition of sorts?
What is their name in Uganda? Like this one, she says she's intersex. What is that in Uganda? Mukazi Musajja, because for me as a pastor, I also know that people are oppressed by demons. A demon comes and sits on them. Muzimu kujja ne gulambala ne gumugamba nti kati gwe omukazi oli musajja oba gwe omusajja oli mukazi. Kati ono waliwo omuzimu ogujja ne gumutuulako ne gumugamba nti oli muki oli musajja. We have these issues, and if I can get a chance to put on Zima, I will.
Oh, sorry, we lost you along the way.
do you think I was sorry or relieved? At this moment, I became speechless. Just a reminder, this is 13 years ago. And the show was live on a working morning. People were glued on telly, and this is what was happening. It's not drama. It was real. And it remains real to date.
Onzima, I realize you're offended by the pastor's statement, and it's not the first time that he's making such reactions to your cause. Do you really feel your cause is necessary in the world?
It's absolutely necessary, and the allegations that the pastor is making. That's why I was saying I do not want to go into that because he's already misled so many people, and I'm a bit disappointed that he came onto the show. But also for the sake of debate, maybe it gives me an opportunity to put something right, and that's the.
Trust me, Pepe is a brilliant guy. Listen, he remained very calm in the midst of all the bombshells that the pastor was throwing to him. And is now bouncing back.
You feel when
sodomy
two men
and
go to
sexual.
bed and
That
start
is-
romancing? How do you feel?
That is none of my business.
Delete.
What they do in their privacy is none of my business. What I do is respect people as they are.
About 20-30 minutes to the closure of the show, then Pastor Ssempa stormed the studio. Now that's the moment I almost called for a fire extinguisher. This is what happened.
Legally, is there any legal justification for homosexuality?
I told you I'm a human rights defender. And I see Pastor Ssempa has come here. When I agreed to come to this show, I spoke to you.
I'm sorry, it's just
He cannot just storm in. So if he storms in, I storm out. Thanks for your time. I cannot go on with this debate.
Before you
anymore.
go, do you recognize these things?
Pepe, I'm sorry, can you give me a minute?
Pepe, do you recognize some of these things here? These are some of the things they use. I want to give you evidence. You see,
Pastor, aren't you being too harsh to these people? Why for once can't you relax and then think about the pain they go through as society ostracizes them?
kansoke nkubulire lwaki adduse. Njagala olabe ebintu bino, obiraba bino. Ebintu bino ze karoti ze bakozesa. Okiwulira? Bakozesa karoti zino ne beefu oyo omuwala gw'olabye alowooza nti musajja. She thinks she's a man. But she does not have the equipment to be a man. So what do they do?
Well, the initial arrangement was to have Pastor Ssempa online. But as hotter as it got, my producer deemed it necessary for Pastor Ssempa to come into the studio and directly engage Pepe, Julian, and Ssempa. To me, that was a big surprise. But yet, practically speaking, maybe it was necessary. Now, when Pastor walked in, Pepe Julian stormed out. The first thing that Pastor did, instead of sounding cordial, he pulled out cucumbers, bananas, eggplants, just to illustrate. That was a bit graphic. He crossed the line a bit, but Pepe couldn't take anything of it. Much as he later came back. So what he's trying to tell us here are the tools that people in that category use. Goodness.
Tubadde obugoye obulungi ayambadde suuti naye si musajja mwana muwala. Ekibuzaabuza nti olaba.
Yes! Pepe returned. And now the showdown started.
Naye ate kubanga Mukama yamutonda muwala ki mulungi mutunuulire. Naye ate yeefuula omusi.
Pastor insists that Pepe was such a beautiful girl. Gorgeous, created naturally, and her disguise of a man was just for financial benefits. Oh, he was going into graphic details.
His claim is he's biologically fated to be a woman.
Kakati, what makes him?
I'm glad Pepe is back.
I'm glad she has got.
Can you
courage.
shake hands before we proceed?
Of course. How are you, Pepe? Musala Mukama amaanyi go gayingira omwana wa phone.
Pastor, no. No. Pastor, let's make.
I thought this was diplomatic. I thought Pastor just wanted to shake hands with Pepe. Then it turned out that he used the moment to pray for what he called casting out the devil of homosexuality out of Pepe, Julian, and Ssempa. This guy.
Civility on the show. Let's maintain civility. Let's maintain civility. Pastor Ssempa argues that these are the instruments you use.
These are vegetables.
Yes.
Bino.
I eat this
Yes.
on my plate.
You eat them on your plate.
Yes.
You don't use them when you're having carnal knowledge.
Absolutely no, and Ssempa should stop misinforming the public.
Kati ono alimba. Me, I'm a counselor. I've counseled many of these. First of all, they start in secondary school.
Why don't you start with counseling other than being confrontational to this young man?
This one is an evangelist. This is a missionary of sodomy.
What an allegation. Pastor Ssempa says Pepe, Julian, then was the lead crusader of homosexuality throughout the entire Africa, boasting a budget of more than 44 million US dollars. That sounds like an exaggeration. That's the entire budget I think Elon Musk uses for his company. Incredible, no?
Can you justify that? Just a second. Can you justify? Let me give him a chance to respond. Pepe.
Just translate what
Pepe,
stuff he's saying.
You are paid heavily to promote homosexuality in Uganda. What's your reaction?
It is not true. He claims I have a lot of money, I'm wearing fancy clothes and all that stuff. I do not even earn the amount of money he thinks. I do not even earn $100 a month or even annually. I do not make the money that he thinks that we make. I'm talking.
Just a second.
Talking about promotion of homosexuality, recruitment, and all those things. They do not exist. It's just the pastors and his group. Their propaganda. To stop debate like this.
Yes. Do you believe that there's been sexual abuse in this country, propagated by yourselves as human rights promoters, disguised as human rights promoters?
Just ask the question again.
Do you believe that there's been sexual abuse, actually sodomy, unleashed towards kids, towards underage children, and towards the vulnerable?
Propagated by my work.
Yes.
There is no such thing.
So what's your work?
Well, this was against the background of a very fresh allegation on one of the celebrated soccer aces, soccer promoters, Chris Mubiru, who had been accused by a group of boys for having been abused, sexually abused. Well, Pepe insists that it's not in the line of his duty, and there's no way he's connected to the gross abuse that was happening.
What's your work? What does your work entail?
It entails advocacy around sexual orientation and gender identity. And this includes making sure that people that people access health services, they access education, they access, like the so-called normal Ugandans. We advocate for every person.
I had no idea, absolutely no idea, that 13 years down the road would still be discussing this. It's actually gone viral throughout the world. Wherever I go, I'm doing selfies with people. Wherever I go, the first greeting I'm getting is, "Why are you gay?" Not me, but thanks to the show that happened 13 years ago on NBS TV. And it's been impactful to my life in ways that you cannot describe. I'm getting celebrity endorsements in many places around the world. Whenever this discussion comes up about the rights of the LGBTQs, about the direction of things in terms of law and social welfare, there is either a meme or an entire clip that will be picked from this interview. So it has become a center of debate. And where we're headed, well, "Why are you gay?" can be worn, can be a greeting, can be anything. There is an online store with lots of merchandise. Why are you gay? We're talking about capes, we're talking about t-shirts, we're talking about jerseys, we're talking about lots of merchandise that you can get to be part of the story. Myself, I'm still here to watch where it's headed. You must be